He takes on Andre Agassi now. He's trying to get to the semifinals, and he reached the semifinal last year here. He lost to Alex Correia, who ended up winning the tournament. Andre Agassi, Las Vegas, Nevada. That name pretty much speaks for itself now. It's so synonymous with tennis and indeed with all of sports. 30 years old. He is actually the oldest player left in the tournament.
Amazing. Turned pro, Cliff, in '86. Excuse me, 15 years on the tour. Who could forget when Agassi first came on the scene with the long mane he had on and just blasting balls all over the court. 14-2 so far.
He still blasts the ball all over.
He does, but with a little more thought behind
sir.
each point. The man that certainly helped him with that has been Brad Gilbert in the last 5-6 years. Nicolas Lapentti.
Guayaquil, Ecuador is home for him.
What a likable kid. Well, he's not really a kid anymore, 24. He's a veteran as well. Struggling a little bit the last year and a half, but starting to play better. Certainly a good week for him so far this week.
His dad is a politician and a sportsman. We'll tell you a little bit about his history as this match gets a little more mature. The head-to-head between the two, Agassi has not lost to him. Last time in Scottsdale.
Ready? Play.
First time in Scottsdale, excuse me. Last time was the singles championship in Germany in '99.
That's right. It was Paris before that. I said it was 2000. It was 99 where they played each other indoors in Paris.
You have enough firepower for Agassi?
I don't know. I don't think he has enough firepower, but what he does, he hits a very heavy forehand. Cliff, can get a lot of spin on the ball. So if he can get the ball to really bounce off the court, he may be able to force Andre into it in a few errors. I mean, and Andre he's looked good this week, but he's made a lot of errors from the back of the court. I mean, he's a tough match yesterday against Kiefer.
15 all.
6-4 in the third. So Andre hasn't looked dominant this week, certainly the way he did in Australia. The ball flies a little bit through the air here. Andre's told us a couple times that he's had a little trouble controlling the ball in the desert air.
And he's never won here, and he can't figure it out. Because he's won, I think it's 10 Tennis Masters Series events. And 7 slams.
You see right there on that ball there, and as you've mentioned many times, Cliff, that Agassi hits the ball relatively flat for a baseline player. So that means that if he doesn't, even timing the ball just perfectly in the desert air, it will fly on him a little bit. That last ball, he just mishit slightly. The ball flew out. Actually takes him a couple of games to get his rhythm, to get his feel in the conditions out here. Done by Lapentti there. Again, that heavy forehand set it up. You got Agassi on the run there. Andre forced to go to the one-hander. If he could get a lot of looks at a shot like that, Cliff, it'll be tough for Agassi because he can really handle that short forehand and go either way with it.
Game point to the Ecuadorian. There's Davis Cup with his brother, 17-year-old Giovanni. I think he's 18 now. Lapentti leads by 1-0. Andre Agassi at this year's Australian, winning again for the second time in a row.
Taking on the Frenchman Arnaud Clement there, who had an incredible run, beat Kafelnikov, and then came from 2-7 and a breakdown to beat his countryman Grosjean. But no match for Agassi, who was right in the zone. Agassi made very few unforced errors. The court was setting up for him perfectly. It was a routine 4-4-2 win for Agassi over the Frenchman, holding up Grand Slam singles title number 7.
It was not a routine win for him in the semi-final. He took out Patrick Rafter. He was down 2-1, then came back. He beat Todd Martin there. Also, Martin had taken out Pete Sampras. robbing the Australians of what they were looking for, which was an Agassi-Sampras quarterfinal.
15 love.
You never played. You played Davis Cup, but you never played at the same time as your brother on the Davis Cup team.
No, I did not.
These two, the Lapentti brothers, are playing on the same team this year.
13 love.
Down to the Australians in Australia on grass. Now the Australians have to travel to Brazil.
Look at that. Since turning 29, when most players are thinking about retirement these days, I guess he's won 4 slams. The thing that Pato Rodriguez, Lapentti's coach, told me was that Nicolas is going to try to attack some of the Agassi second serves, which we saw him try to do in the 15 love point. And also when Andre does get control of the point, sort of moving him around, that instead of just playing the ball and letting Agassi continue to do that, that he might just go for a winner, you know, instead of letting Agassi sort of grind him down, because that happened when they played in Paris a couple of years ago.
Let's see if it works.
Doubtful.
He just has to do it probably better than he's ever done it before.
Lovely.
The Lapentti brothers went to Australia this year, Cliff, and lost to the Australians in the opening round. But they had that huge win last year in England when they beat the Brits. Played that at Wimbledon.
15 all.
Yeah, the Brits have not forgotten that. So they're in the relegation league now. It is amazing with the two outstanding players that they have, Rosetsky and Henman.
So there's that forehand flying on Agassi a little bit. There's the risk that Lapentti's really forced to take, Cliff, as you pointed out. It's risky, and he's got to make a lot of those shots. And normally he wouldn't try to hit a forehand that big right there. He tried to work the point, get his opponent on the run, but it's so tough to do that against Agassi right now. 30 all at 1 all first set.
14.
Trying to hit a slider of his second serve there. Keep Agassi guessing. This is what happens when a player's got sort of an aura about them. They're able to have a leg up mentally on their opponents. They're already forcing their opponents to go out of their comfort zone. Break point now for Agassi.
Game, Agassi.
Agassi holds on, 2-1 on serve. Agassi has the break here in the first set. Nicolas Lapentti didn't have much confidence in his brother's ability to win that 5th match against England we talked about.
I had no confidence in him at all before walking on the court, to tell you the truth. When I lost my match to Tim, I was really disappointed because I thought it was the only chance for Ecuador to win the series. It's not easy at all to come up and play the fifth match of the Davis Cup. I think it's special because Ecuador won that series, and nobody believed in us. And it's even more special because it was my brother. I don't think I was the only proud person. It was my parents, and I think the whole country.
It was a great moment for his country of Ecuador when they beat England in, as you said, at Wimbledon. It was played on court 1.
Thank you.
And his brother won that 5th match, and they were instant heroes. They were already heroes before that, in fact. He had a great year in '99, as we said, Nicolas Lapentti. Ended up the year in the top 8 players and played in the year-ending championship. He's down a break, 2-1, Agassi to serve.
Lapentti holding up Agassi. I guess some people coming in and get their seats right in the front row just behind Agassi. Not a good start for Lapentti. Giving Agassi that break, and Agassi more than happy to take it. Difference of the Agassi game now, though, than from years past, is that he's willing to work for his breaks and not just try to hit out. Oof. Beautiful struck by Agassi there. Lapentti looking for a call. Slice backhand, tries to keep it low. Agassi rips it up the line. Looked like it was a dab on the paint.
30-15 postscript on that Davis Cup story. Ecuador in the first round against Australia. As you can see, the ranking improvements of Agassi, Lapentti, and Pete Sampras.
Pretty good company there.
Lapentti losing to Rafter and Hewitt this year on grass in Perth, both of them in straight sets. Point for 3-1. Routine so far for Agassi.
Signs at the moment that could change. Lapentti searching right now. He's not really that comfortable, Cliff, hitting out on his two-handed backhand. Can roll it a bit. He's trying to play that one-handed slice. I don't think that's going to work against Agassi today either. And the two-hander, he just doesn't really have the confidence to go after it. Got to try to hit a lot of forehand. I mean, that's his only chance. Look to control the point with the forehand. Not even worried about that, just going right at the Lapentti forehand in that point.
It was Haas who was trying to hit that slice into the Agassi game, and it worked pretty well for him, actually. Agassi nevertheless took him out earlier round. It was the second round.
Well, Haas has a little more bite on his slice than
exactly.
Lapentti.
More natural.
Yeah. Lapentti got exactly what he wanted in that point, but what great defense from Agassi there. That's exactly the type of point that Lapentti wants to play, to have a shot in this match, and Agassi able to hit that slice backhand. He's really improved that shot the last few years, Agassi, that's one-handed slice. That helped him win the French.
Love 30. It's dangerous sometimes to get out of your own game too far in an effort to make it work against a specific opponent like Agassi. Maybe one of the problems that Lapentti is having, he is in serious trouble. Down a 3-1 and break points now. 3 for Agassi. This could be a very quick night.
Oh, you know Agassi's confident when he hits that volley there.
That is not good news for Lapentti. Agassi in control of this match. 2 breaks now, 4-1. He'll serve and we come back to Indian Wells. For itself, she's one of the superstars of tennis. First point, game number 6. Got to go with Serena there, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, Klaes has played a very good match against the world's number
beautifully.
1.
She was able to control the play a little more against Hingis, who doesn't have nearly the firepower that Serena has.
Hit from Lapentti, 15 all. Agassi 4-1, 2 breaks.
15 all.
Best moments of Lapentti's career when he reached the ATP World Championship, as it was called then, now called the Tennis Masters Cup. He won titles in Indianapolis and Lyon that year. Finished number 8.
13-15.
And he received the Medal of Congress from the President of Ecuador, so he's an honorary ambassador of the country. Running forehand down the line, not even close. Game points Agassi for 5-1.
Another good serve there from Agassi, kicking it out wide. He loves that play in both courts, to open up the court. Because he can take the ball so early, this gets you on the run quickly. He hasn't had to do much running tonight. This has been a cakewalk.
Agassi holds on and he has a commanding lead, 5-1, 2 breaks. Lapentti is just struggling to hold on.
Agassi leads 5-1.
See, there's Lapentti trying to step up, Cliff, into the court a bit and flatten the backhand now. Just doesn't have it.
Patrick, I think, you know, it's dangerous to change your game for your opponent.
Exactly, and that's what he's been doing from the start.
Yeah, and it's not working. Yeah, you know, I mean,
it's like a drill there. Cross court, down the line.
I mean, there's a lot to be said for that cliche about dancing with who you brung. Isn't that what it is? Something like that.
I think that's what it is, yeah. It's one of your favorites. Yeah, go down with your game.
Yeah, that's my point. Of 30.
Left for service.
Agassi not able to get out of the way of that serve. Whose return would you rather have, Cliff? Agassi or Connors? Oh, you're really thinking about this for a while, huh? I stumped you.
No, I'll have to go with Agassi finally, but I was a big fan of Connors' return. I faced it a few times and hated it.
That must not have been pretty.
No, it wasn't.
I faced it a few times too, and it wasn't pretty. And I think he was 39 at the time.
Now, we were talking earlier today about Leighton Hewitt's return of serve and how the statistics show that he's probably got the most consistent return. I'd still take Agassi's over anybody.
Yeah, Agassi's a more intimidating return. Hewitt serves similar to Connors. I think he gets his racket on the ball almost all the time. He hits the ball cleanly, the way Connors did, even at full stretch.
Good comeback in this game from Lapentti. He's got a game point.
There's a fear that you face when you play Agassi, when you have to hit a second serve. And that fear can force you to do what Lapentti just did, miss a lot of first serves, go for more than you're comfortable going for.
The fear factor, I agree.
Throwing some doubles. He's already had 4 doubles in this set, Lapentti. Great forehand there from Agassi. He's got such good balance when he's on the move. Andre gets the racket back quickly. Watch the way he prepares for this ball. He's already got the racket back ready. Because his balance is so good and his timing, he's able to hit that on the dead run cleanly. Back to deuce. I don't think that's something you can necessarily teach either, Cliff, having good balance on the run. I mean, you can work on it, but it's sort of a natural ability. Especially in today's game, which is so much quicker and a lot more pace on the ball. I think that's really what separates the very good players from the great players, the players that can hit the ball on the move.
Yeah, nature was kind to Agassi, that's for sure, but there were times in his career when he was an easy win, an easy good win. Went down to, ended up the year a few years ago at 122. But those days are gone, and the fear factor is very much alive when they play against Agassi now. He leads 5-2, 2 breaks. He'll serve when we come back to our live coverage of the Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Andre Agassi is about to serve for the first set, and what do I say about his serve? The best thing about it is how compact it is. Let's roll it, guys. You will see he's rotate his shoulders, his top of his body into the ball. He sways. The racket goes down way in a circle here. Now freeze it right there. You can see that his knees are bent, his eyes on the ball. Now watch this ball now. It'll go up a little higher, but not much higher than where he makes contact with it. Look, it hardly goes down at all. Very compact. He's off the air when he hits the ball. Very good balance as he goes into the court. Watch those steps. Now he steps back because he's going to play from the ground, but it is compact and it is clean. Not much can go wrong with a serve compact as that.
That's a good point about the legs there, Cliff, and that's why it's so important for Agassi to be in excellent shape, because he gets that push off from those strong legs, and his serve is really dependent upon pushing up, not necessarily pushing out into the court, a la, say, a Pete Sampras or a Rafter that are coming in. He wants to get up, and that's what gives him that action on the ball, that good spin, that good kick on the ball. More important for him is that kick and that explosion coming off the court rather than the actual pace on the serve.
remember how he used to use that kick. He would serve, he'd stand out wide and then kick it way to the backhand side. Doesn't do that much anymore. 15 all.
Backhand floating long. With the Agassi legs right here. There it is again. The racket going back. The legs going up. See how they're going up and he's not really landing that far into the court.
Illustrates the point perfectly, and it gets Agassi to set point. It sails, and Agassi has won the first set easily behind 2 breaks. 6 games to 2, second set live, and we come back to Indian Wells. That is Lapentti's 3rd ace.
Serving a good percentage though, Cliff, at 46%.
And that's just the start of the bad news, Patrick, because when he misses the first serve, his second serve percentage points are under 40%, so he's in trouble.
He's not feeling too much pressure now, Agassi. He really flattened out those last 2 forehands.
You're right about that, and I think that's bad news for Lapentti. Brutal.
Oh, that is the punisher right there. And it's an excellent play from Lapentti in that point, but Agassi able to whip the forehand. This was the shot before that one that set it up on a half volley, a full swing at it. It's incredible the way he can take full cuts at the ball off of big shots from his opponents.
Agassi's beaten him 3 straight times, and you have the feeling, don't you, that Agassi doesn't think that he's in any trouble tonight at all. I'm going to have the statisticians check for me tomorrow, Patrick. The last player who on second serves wins more points against Agassi on the return than he loses. Because every time I look at Agassi's stats, you miss a first serve, and then you're looking down the barrel of some serious trouble. Here's a second serve from Lapentti at 30 all.
Lapentti's at 36%, Cliff, on his second serve points won.
No, he was trying to steer that one. I got to believe he was trying to steer it around the net.
Well, even things going that well for Agassi with the total miss it. Actually didn't move his feet for one of the few times and caught the frame. Yeah, he was. You're right.
He was, wasn't he?
He let it drop real low and go around the net post. Break point.
on sales, and Agassi has got the break in the second set. First game of the second set. Agassi went
Got some solid wins so far at the Felnikov. He beat Ivan Isevic, he beat Rios and Francisco Clavet, who won last week in Scottsdale. Maybe, excuse me, Cliff, maybe, just maybe, Kafelnikov might think he has a chance against Pete Sampras in the semis tomorrow. There's Brad Gilbert, former top tenor.
And Agassi's coach, author of Winning Ugly.
15 all.
15 all. Kafelnikov's won 21 matches this year, more than anybody on the ATP Tour.
That's never a surprise, because he plays every week.
Exactly. (30-15, 6-2, 1 game to love Agassi. He has not been tested yet.
There's Pato Rodriguez just to the right there. Great guy. Used to coach Andres Gomez. Coach Gomez, when Gomez won the French. We beat Agassi in the final.
30 all.
Way back in '90, wasn't it, Cliff?
It was. Pato Rodriguez spends a lot of time on Key Biscayne. Beautiful Key Biscayne in Miami. We'll be there starting Sunday a week.
Sunday week, that's it. There's that wide serve again from Agassi.
In fact, Lapentti has spent a couple of years living in Miami now. Crossroads of the continents of South and North America. Game point Agassi.
Felnikov, Cliff, won a couple of big Davis Cup matches for the Russians, because Safin lost both of his matches against the Slovak Republic. Felnikov came from 2 sets down in the final match against Kucher.
Work with the Davis Cup captain, you know, he's got all these little details. He follows it now, checking on his potential.
I followed it before.
But not as closely as my captain.
Not quite as closely.
Game point Agassi.
Game Agassi.
Not been the most spellbinding match so far.
No, Lapentti has just not found any answer, and you said that, you know, he was trying a game plan against Agassi. It didn't seem to work. Now he's all at sea. And Agassi, there are two sides to the story. One is how Lapentti is playing, and the other one is how Agassi is playing. The winners for Agassi, 6. He has 9 unforced errors against 6 winners and 15 for Lapentti.
Lapentti.
Beautiful return from Agassi. He's hitting the ball as cleanly as he's hit it so far this week. I mean, obviously he's having his easiest match so far. Seems to be seeing the ball, though. This is usually what happens to the great players as they get towards the end of the week and start playing their best tennis. They've got a couple matches under their belt. We certainly see Sampras improve with each of his matches.
If Agassi wins this, he will take on Leighton Hewitt in the semi-final. Kafelnikov and Sampras in the other.
A plenty good start last year. As you mentioned earlier, Cliff, semifinalist here and then did well down in Miami. Just out of his comfort zone and going for another winner.
It's disappointing this. It's so one-sided that it's hard to get your teeth into this match. Lapentti now down 3 break points. He's down 2 games to love. He won 2 games in the first, but he was broken twice. He has not had a break point against Agassi's serve. Not a pretty picture.
Still 2 break points.
That is a great shot from Lapentti as Agassi's coming into the net. He hits a slice back and he gets low. Agassi's forced to volley up, and then he comes up with a very, very good topspin lob clean winner. Watch it.
Agassi's so close to the net. So Lapentti's favorite shot. He gets some time on the forehand. All that work, Cliff, and guess what? Still down break point.
Yes, sir. A third. Three in a row for Lapentti. Even in this game at deuce, down 2 games to love, though. Another break point for Agassi. Lapentti's dad played basketball, went to university in the US, St. Thomas College. He played basketball there, selected as one of the best basketball players in Ecuador of all time. His dad retired from basketball, but internal Olympic games were being held at the Guayaquil Tennis Club, and they called him to play on that team. He became a member of the club, and that's why his son started to play tennis. And his brother won the Orange Bowl last year. That was 2 years ago.
Can't believe that someone's father, someone in their family from South America is playing basketball, not soccer.
Agassi gets another break. Lapentti has won 2 games so far tonight. 6-2 Agassi. First set now 3-love, 2 breaks. He will serve when we come back. Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. This is the first Tennis Masters Series of the year. Nicolas Lapentti, Andre Agassi in the quarterfinal. Final quarterfinal match of the day. 3 semifinalists already in place. Evgeny Kafelnikov and Pete Sampras. Leighton Hewitt waiting for the winner of this one. Agassi leads a set and 3-love, 2 breaks.
What number is Agassi going to finish at the end of the year, Cliff, in the rankings?
In the top 3, is that good enough?
No.
Give me a second. Three. He's not going to play enough.
break.
Yeah. Skeptical?
I think 1.
15 all.
Going with 1.
Probably only going to play 12 tournaments, and you're going to have Kafelnikov's going to play 30.
No. If you still do well, if you do great in the big events, you'll still finish
Yeah.
at the top. There's 1-2 with the swinging serve out wide.
If you win the points race, you really only do play, say, 12 or 15 tournaments as you watch this replay.
I think he'll
you are the best
he'll
player.
play more than 12 tournaments.
Yeah, probably. That's why I said probably 15. On the line. Took that one well. Agassi probably coming in behind something that he would not normally come in behind.
That's for sure. He would not normally be coming in on a shot like that, but it's 6-2, 3 love, 2 breaks, 30-15. Why not? Lapentti hit get a couple of shots. Come back with a good serve.
Are you suggesting that Agassi's throwing him a bone?
No, no.
Game point Agassi.
Suggesting that he is not concerned at all about the outcome of the match at this point. Just to further emphasize that point, serving volley. Start queuing up the Sampras rafter tape from this afternoon, guys. I'm ready for it.
Kafelnikov over gamble, straight sets. Kafelnikov's in the semis. Good workman-like stuff.
That was workman like there.
Number 6 seed Hewitt over Escudé, the Frenchman.
Lapentti versus. Lapentti.
In isolation, if you just take that point there, it emphasizes just how great Agassi is on the return of serve. He hits the ball flat, hard, and deep.
And early. Sometimes, Cliff, I try to explain sometimes to younger players that it's so much more effective to take the ball a little bit earlier than to wait for it and hit it harder, because it's more important to try to take time away from your opponent and to just try to overpower them necessarily. When you can take the ball early, when you can shorten your backswing the way Agassi does and time the ball well, you actually don't have to do as much. Just by the fact that you're taking it earlier, you're forcing your opponent to react that much more quickly.
I've noticed that, Patrick. You bristle when the world's #1 stands so far back to return serve. I know. I can feel it.
Hello. The nice thing is when you can take it early and clock it the way that Agassi can. And you can do both. That's it puts you in a league where you've won every Grand Slam Only 4 other players in the history of the game have done that.
Break point. Yeah, that's just, he's going to get spanked this set here, the Ecuadorian Lapentti. At 5-love, Agassi will serve for a 6-love set. He won the first set 6-2. It has been easy tonight in Indian Wells for Andre Agassi, who leads the points race this year. Agassi serving for a 6-2, 6-love win and a place in the semi-finals. Take on Leighton Hewitt. Drysdale, Patrick McEnroe, welcome everyone. Live coverage, Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells.
We're certainly set up nicely, Cliff, for a great weekend, aren't we?
Yeah.
Kafelnikov, Sampras in one semifinal, and almost certainly Hewitt taking on Agassi. That's going to be fun. That's going to be real fun, that match. The nightmare that Charlie Passerelle and all of us experienced with the Williams sisters fiasco last night. Venus pulling out about 2 minutes before the match was scheduled to go out on the court. He's got to be very, very happy with his lineup for the men's semifinal. Your buddy.
Yeah, that's nothing to be happy about. He's done a tremendous job as Agassi, who is finally facing a break point. It's the first of the night. Nice lineup in the women's singles final tomorrow too. And Clijsters and Serena Williams. Yeah, it was a fiasco. If Venus Williams had just let us know half an hour earlier, we could have got out Pete Sampras and he could have played, you know, one of his great matches. He's a great player live on ESPN. As it was, we had to show a tape of the afternoon match. Inglis and Clijsters. Lapentti has broken Agassi. So a little too late in all probability, but 5-1 and Lapentti will serve. In my mind, that Venus Williams last night injury is legitimate is not a factor. I'm sure that it was, but that she would rear its head so late was really questionable judgment, in my opinion. Hurt the tournament, hurt the crowd, and certainly hurt our broadcast.
Hurt the sport.
One of our ESPN programmers was here last night. And what happened, he walked out and he said to me, you know, this is one of the reasons sometimes the tennis doesn't get the times that we'd like on our network. Far-reaching implications. Love 15. 5-1 Agassi, and he won the first set 6-2.
Just too far behind the baseline. Do too much work back there. Agassi just picking his spots.
Disappointing effort from Lapentti tonight. I'm not sure that he could have. Yeah, I think he could have played a lot better. Couldn't have beaten Agassi.
played more his game, which
Yes.
is loop the ball, try to hit a lot of forehands. Thought that that type of play would have won him the match anyway. He sort of came out and went, as we've talked about, but just out of his game plan early. But that is so difficult to do, especially, I mean, at this level, you just can't do it.
Match points for Agassi. Nice way to finish the match. Agassi trying to get himself pumped up. But it was too easy a day for him as Lapentti was only able to hold serve Patrick twice in the match.
Well, he won't have any trouble getting pumped up for the semifinals against Leighton Hewitt. That's going to be a good, interesting matchup, a test for Agassi. Certainly Hewitt's going to make Andre hit a lot of balls. It's sort of like a heavyweight against a middleweight. I mean, both a similar style of play, but certainly Agassi with more firepower and a great semifinal lineup for us for the weekend.
Andre Agassi is in the semi-final. Leighton Hewitt, as you said, Patrick, will be his opponent. Kafelnikov and Sampras round out the top four. Back in a minute. Agassi easily tonight, 6-2 and 6-1 against Nicolas Lapentti. Take a look at the match summary here, Patrick.
That's the Audi match summary, and well, it's pretty evident what it was. Look at Lapentti, lost serve 6 times. Agassi only 13 unforced errors, broken once in the match. That was that last game. And the winner error differential a lot more for Lapentti. But Andre, really a case of you not having to play your best tennis. And it seemed to me that Lapentti was sort of trying to go out of what it was his natural game right from the start. Like the intimidation factor was already there when you guys walked out on the court.
Well, we've played a few times. I think there's a healthy respect from both of our sides of the court. But you know, it was brutal conditions tonight, Patrick. I mean, you look at the wind. I don't know if you can tell up there in the booth, but the wind is really howling around down here. And you know, my game is really suited pretty well for the wind. I can play with spin if the ball's low. If it's high, I can flatten it out if I'm against the wind. You know, not a whole lot bothers me. I have a short ball toss. I think Nicolas really depends on, you know, getting that ball in the spot where he can really eject that forehand. And today it just never looked like he got into his rhythm or found his game or got comfortable out there.
I think probably the most dangerous thing that you've said is not a whole lot bothers me, Andre, because in your career, a lot from time to time has bothered you one way or the other. But you are looked to be in a mood now this year, one of those moods where not a whole lot is bothering you, and that's bad news for the rest of the field. What do you?
Are you trying to say I'm a moody guy, Cliff? Is that what you're trying to say?
You've had a moody career. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I think there have been times I haven't been as focused on my game, but I think those times were proactively so. It wasn't as if I was out there just kind of reacting. It was my mind and my preparation, and things weren't quite a focus on tennis. I have certain regrets about that, but I'm almost 31 and I'm still out here competing with the best of them. So I've managed to survive, and somehow now with my dedication, my fitness and everything really is coming together. I'm using my experience in different situations, and I feel pretty comfortable out there, and I'm always looking to improve.
I suppose, Andre, that you'll try to use your experience tomorrow, because we're certainly very eager for that matchup tomorrow against young Leighton Hewitt. Is sort of, I guess I would put a middleweight version of you. He doesn't have the firepower, but certainly can move the ball around. And how do you look at that matchup?
Oh, it's going to be brutal. I mean, I think Leighton is one of the best up-and-comers, no question about it. He's one of the best in the world right now. He's just a great competitor. He can hit the ball well off both sides. He moves probably as well as anybody out there. And you have to beat him start to finish, you know. And my goal is to go out there and make him have to do the same thing. I think it will be a good match.
Andre, congratulations. Well played today, and good luck for the rest of the tournament. Semi-final against the Australian Leighton Hewitt tomorrow. Andre Agassi is in the final 4.
Well done, Andre. Thanks.
Thanks, Patrick.
At the Tennis Masters Series.